So today I have 10 tips that every Fortnite player should know, whether it be like building or just a simple fact. But we're going to start off with some pure basic tips. So the one thing every single player should know is how to build a box. That's it. Just the simple box. Some walls, and if you're around, like if you're up above, place a floor, obviously. Like this. Now, it's very simple, and it's the best way to protect yourself that even pro players use. So, for example, if I'm being shot at, instead of placing walls like this, it's really awkward. So you can do this instead to make a box and protect yourself from all angles. Now really quickly, some people can do it like really fast, but I really can't. I have to like stand still, but it's as close as I can get. But very simple. So for example, if someone was attacking me and I was like 10 HP, instead of spamming, I can build a box. So, for example, if I get shot from the back, I won't just die. So I have a little bit of time to react, if you get what I mean. And you can place a ramp in your box to even help prevent that. Which means that instead of shooting through one layer of the box, like this, you can shoot, they have to shoot through two to get to you. Many people, in the second thing, I'm putting this as a number 2, but putting a cone in your box. Many beginners don't really do this. They think that the cone's annoying, but the cone is probably the most important part of the box. Because if someone had a box, like for example, let's say the wood is the enemy and I'm the brick, I can just take that quickly and do a brick thing like this. So they could run out, but then you can just run around and shoot them. So it's not very viable. And also I have complete control. So if they run out, I can just alter that and shoot them from every angle just because it's one piece. So placing a cone in your box is the most important part of the box. By far. On to number 3. Ramp brush. Whether it be something simple like this, where you can just sprint, or it will be a double layer. Or a triple layer. Now they're all very simple, so it's rather simple. So a ramp brush is usually done like this. So what this does is not every fight is starting like this with a 1v1, and it's not always going to be like that, okay? So most people, if you watch a lot of speed realistics, you would see a lot of this. Like people start off and they run up and then they go and do their Mickey crap and all that stuff. But we're going to not really get into big detail on that. And so it's just a very important skill so that you're just not like sitting still, like doing 90s or something, standing still. Something very important to know, because you're still moving, which it makes it harder for you. So especially if like while you're doing this, you're running side to side, it makes it a lot harder to cone you. But doing 90s brings me on to the next thing, is doing a 90. I think if you're ever starting out builds, you need to know how to do this. Now, it's been a classic since chapter 1, and pretty much everyone in the community knows how to do one. But if you don't and you're just beginning, very important move. Just a 90. But there are many ways of doing a 90. Like for example, I could just do it like this, or I could do a Clix 90, which is much harder to do. So all I'm doing is I'm placing a ramp 2 walls up here, and I'm just running to the side. And then I just repeat. Now, sometimes you can, like, there, you'll just phase through it, so, like, you have to run right to the edge. But if you're not feeling confident, you can place a floor while you're doing it, which means you'll always be face up, but it just uses extra mats, which is what most people don't want to do. Now, if you do want to get high more easily without using a lot of mats, like a 90, let's say we have a guy on top in the brick, and he's up here. He has a full box. He has 2 boxes, and he's fully connected, so we can't chop him because he'll just run back down. So, and I am down here. So you can do what's called a side jump, where if you just side jump like that, you can do that, and you can just start, as I showed earlier, a ramp rush to gain height. So now I'm 2 layers above just from like a simple move. So there's multiple ways of doing a side jump. You can do normal ones where you just jump very normally. Just jump and place a wall and a floor. Now this is the most popular, you could say, where you just go into a box. But I'll talk about boxing later, so don't worry about doing that. But just the bare basics of like, even I bob my head, just building a wall, or just building a floor and catching yourself. That's the bare minimum. Now you can do it sprints, so you're just like running off the edge, so just get as close to the edge as you can and jump off. That's all we're doing there. Just get to the close to the edge as you can and just jump. Now, a lot of pros also do use this. Like, you can do it in a lot of building to save mats, and also like lots of plays can be done with it. But that is like the bare minimum. It's just a cone and like a jump, or just like any kind of thing, like in a box as well. You could say a box even like that. You could kind of say, or just like side jump around and do a shot. That's another big thing that you could do. Now, also piece control would be a really good one as well, because most players, when they fight, they don't really know what they're doing when you're beginning. So basically what piece control is it's the box fights. If you don't know what box fights is, go look that up, because I don't have a video on that yet. But it's basically when people fight for pieces. So we're in a very enclosed environment, even smaller than box fights, and you're trying to fight for pieces. So for example, this is the brick player is the enemy, and I have the wall. So we're trying to fight for this, and good piece control is getting angles and peaks, which is another good thing you need to know. Peaks and piece control are like the 2 most important things. If you don't have a good peak, like for example, a right hand peak like this, being safe and protected while taking a wall is a huge big thing. So like for example, if we have me right here, and here's the wall, and I want to stay safe. So always hit the cone in your box. That's the biggest part of piece control. 100%. Biggest part. And I'm fully enclosed in, and I try and take it, and as soon as that last swing happens, you go boom, like as fast as you can. Just click your mouse button or your build button and instantly place a wall. And instantly place it, and as fast as you can, get to an angle and go boom. Now for like this scenario, a good peak would be going on a right hand peak like this, where you take the wall and then you run to the side and doing that, which is another big thing, is having your shotgun out. It's also very important with piece control to have your shotgun out the entire time. Like if I have my flopper out, for example, or a shockwave for that matter, I could have the wall, let's say I already have it, and then I edit and I throw a shockwave. I'm just going to get hit for 180, and I'm going to have to run back into my other box and set up another right hand peak. See that? So I get hit, and then I run back and then set up another peak, and then I'm waiting for that shot to do that. So that's peaks. Just abuse the peanut butter is what people like to call it. Just abuse that over and over. Abuse that all the way. Just abuse it. But that is a big thing. But another big thing with boxes is, if you're going to do piece control, you need to do tarping, which is, if you're planning to go competitive, you need to know how to tarp. It's basically where you have a lot of boxes. So you're just doing the simple box technique, but you're not placing cones. So like, for example, I'm like in an in game with like 50 people, I need to rotate. So I'm just gonna place a box. So I'm gonna make the floor for my box, or if I'm on the floor, and then I'm just gonna make boxes the same way that you would normally, except you open and edit and you just run forward. Run forward. So similar to a box, place the floor, do your walls. Now, but for this, the exceptions are, you don't really need a cone, and you don't really need the floor at the top. You don't really need that. But the floor at the bottom, you'll definitely need that though. So, but like when you're ending a rotate with tarping, you would probably make some space and you would place cones. That's when you do place cones and ramps in your box, is when you're finished doing your tarp. Now this does burn through mats quickly, so most people would probably just like shockwave and then slide jump, get some movement, and then start tarping a little bit on the final stretch, and then make a couple boxes. And then they would close their edit, because they're always open as well. That's the other big thing. Tarps are usually open, so make sure that you're safe somehow. Like, so just make sure, like, maybe even just closing your edit so people can't lurk into your box is like a really huge thing when it comes to doing that. The final thing that is really major would be the Clix 90. It's the other form of 90s, but they're like skinny. So it's just a really small 90 that you can do really quickly. That you can, because like if you go into late game or like intermediate level, you'll see 90s and particularly Clix 90s in a lot of things. Like for example, this one I can do. I have a couple things, and then I can go into a couple Clix 90s. You'll see we have a couple 90s into some Clix 90s with some ramps, with the ramp rush. That's one of the skills that you can do. It's very major. It's pretty daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it after a week, it can get very simple. So Clix 90s, just place a floor and a ramp, and then as usual, as you would for the normal 90, just go to the edge and do that. And just get to the point where you can sprint it, by the way. But for the sake of this, so that I can do it properly, I'm not gonna sprint. Yeah, but it's also very difficult to get the timing down. But once you do, it's a piece of cake. So that's very simple. So I hope I helped you guys out a little bit and taught you some basic ideas and builds that you could try put into your gameplay. Now, these are very, very basic, and you probably knew a lot of them. But if you didn't, please like and subscribe. Help me out, guys, please. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and also on Twitch, which I'll have in the description of the video, so go follow me there and go check me out because I record live. So if you want to see my videos live, go check me out on Twitch and like and subscribe. And peace.